shaped feet.
The Human Torch was denied a
Thanks, Lone. Love it. What's going on, guys? How we doing? Welcome to another installment of Analytically Correct. Thank you guys, as always, for joining us. With you, as always, your boy Brettigans. You got your boy Marty right here. With us, always, is our producer Stretch, coming to you live via the Traveling Drunks at the Public House out here on University and Alabama, right behind the Applebee's. Also joined with Shamrock Liquors, same owner. Both great places. If you're anywhere near the neighborhood, one of the best places to not only get liquor, they get great specials all the time, but seriously, it's one of the best just bars in town. It's just awesome. Not a sports bar necessarily, but man, if you just want a great drink, all the bartenders know exactly what the fuck they're talking about. It's a great place. Anyways, to get on to stuff, as usual, I'm gonna hand things off to my boy Marty here as I try to get everything going on my laptop. Marty, would you like to talk about the NCAA tournament game that happened last night?
Yeah, absolutely. Virginia, obviously, everyone who's watching this probably already knows. Virginia won. Whether or not, spoiler alert, if you had it on tape delay, if you're planning on watching it tonight. Overtime. I think just a couple of takeaways from the game. Everybody going into it thought it was going to be, I think one of those, I heard a lot of people say it was going to be a boring game or like a defensive trash game.
Right.
A lot of people, when they think of like defensive basketball games especially, college is already sometimes anemic enough with the offense. You go like 5-minute stretches and nobody scores and you're like, what am I watching right now? But to me, I watched the game. I thought it was a really good game. Somehow the over-under was 118 and I took the under. So I fell for it.
Well, you also didn't think it was going to be overtime either. So
it was over without overtime, though, by a decent amount.
Yeah.
But other than betting aside, it was a good game. Virginia, I think, I was talking with Stretch earlier, and we were talking about like the parallels between like losing in the first round as a #1 seed last year to a 16 seed, and then this year coming all the way back. It's like one of those good sports redemption stories. You can make a movie out of it.
You really could.
A lot of those same guys are on the team.
They could arguably be considered the weakest 1 seed of all of them. You know what I mean?
I think with
Gonzaga, North Carolina, and Duke.
With the reputation that Gonzaga had was like Gonzaga, they're always going to lose. But it's arguable. I mean, everyone's going to take the Blue Bloods and Duke and North Carolina, and then we started off. We started off in a similar way last week, talking about one and dones, and how everybody's talking about that in college basketball and how we need to fix that problem. Both of the teams that are in the championship game last night, I was looking it up early on mock drafts. There's 3 total players from both of those teams who are even projected to go in either the first or the second round of the NBA draft. It's Jarrett Culver for Texas Tech, who didn't even have that good of a game last night, which just shows you how well-rounded of a team they had to take it to overtime and keep it that close. And then for Virginia, it's Ty Jerome and DeAndre Hunter. And then that's compared to Duke, who scraped by a bunch of their games and winds up losing. And they have 3 of the top 8 picks. So
there you go.
It's just that whole storyline of one and done is ruining college basketball. It might make it so that you don't know who's on each team each year, which makes, I think, the NFL and the NBA less so nowadays, the NBA, but easier to follow because you know who you're rooting for.
Okay.
But I think it's just, if you pay attention, like a lot of these teams have the same guys coming back, yeah, so that was my takeaway from it. Virginia goes from losing to a 16 seed to beating a 1 seed.
That's awesome. That really is cool. And obviously, everyone's going to say hats off to Texas Tech. I'm going to play fucking second-guessing loser over here. I actually really did like Texas Tech. I would never told you they were going to go to the final game, but I definitely had them beating Michigan. And even though I had Gonzaga winning it, if you had told me Texas Tech would have beat them, I probably would have said, okay, possibly, but I don't think that Duke would have beat them, in my opinion. I don't think in almost anybody else's opinion. And poor Michigan State, I know you really care deeply about Izzo losing, but for his 9th Final Four, correct? That's an insane number.
Them losing actually won me the bracket that we were in. So
very cool.
Good for me. Yeah.
So double good for you.
Either way, I would have been good. And I think Virginia winning had my friend Brian losing our $30 bracket thing that we were in, or whatever that was. So that was good for him. Yeah, I think it'd be interesting because I think only like 0.3% of people that filled out brackets, they said, had the final game correct, like who's playing each other. And I think a lot of that had to do, Virginia, a lot of people thought who watched college basketball was like the best team all year, like consistently as far as like team, strength of schedule, like record and all that goes. But a lot of people have the recency bias, and you can't really blame them of losing to a 16 seed.
Yeah.
And in the first game, I think we had on the group chat, we were kind of like doing the side eyes emoji because I think they were behind at halftime. So everyone's like, "Oh my God, is this going to happen again?" Stretch had we both had different questions that we were saying about the game, and mine I answered quickly before I even finished asking in my head. If you had the team, if it was your team, would you take losing as a 16 seed or as a 1 seed to a 16 if your team wins the next year to win the championship? Obviously, I would say
no. Nope, don't ever want that embarrassment.
Yeah. But then his was, what would have been worse, them losing last night in overtime or them losing last year as a 1 seed to a 16 seed?
100% losing the 16 seed.
I said last night. What? It's much more like heartbreaking. You get all the way to that point, and then you're in overtime. Any one shot, this.
Well, then you would have had to say that they didn't lose the 16 seed last year, because if it's a normal team losing in overtime, that does suck. But losing in the first round as a 1 seed has never happened ever. Every team every year loses in the national championship game. It's just going to happen. There's no ties. One time in the history of college basketball has a 1 seed lost to a 16 seed.
But there's only been 8 overtimes. I don't know the exact
okay. So overtime is no. How many times does that happen?
I mean, if you ask a lot of fans, if you lose, okay, say maybe this is not a fair equivalency, but if you lose in the college football playoff, if you're Florida, what hurts more? If you lose in the matchup of before you get there, or if you lost in overtime of the national championship?
I'd rather go to the championship game and lose than to not make the playoffs at all.
No. I'm saying if you lose in the first game of the playoff, like before you get to the championship game.
If I'm a 1 seed losing to a 16, it's totally different there.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying?
I'm
the 16 seed has never happened ever.
Yeah, but I mean,
except to Virginia.
To lose in overtime of a championship game too is
that's not fun. I'm never gonna choose that over going to a baseball game. But whatever. That's my 2 cents on that.
There's
magic over under half playoff wins. Well, Chase, I don't know who your team is, and hopefully it's the Raptors, because if we do play them, I think we stand the best chance to beat them, and we can go ahead and transfer into NBA playoffs.
Just a heads up, this is one of my friends from high school that was running the $30 bracket thing.
Okay. Gotcha.
He told me on text that he's going to try to make you mad, so just I'll give you a fair heads up.
Okay, I figured out. I was like, who is this creep being my friend request? Like sending me a friend request. I was like, I'll fucking accept it. Whatever. We'll see what happens. If he sends me a dick pic, I'll delete it.
He might still do that. I'm not sure.
That's okay. You know, that gets ratings, my friend. So I'm okay with it. And he'll tell you I'm never going to hold a grudge against it. So you're fine.
Before we get to the overall NBA playoffs, I just wanted to say, I don't know if you were planning on talking about this, is Dwayne Wade's last game tonight. Was starting at 7. You got to give at least like a couple of minutes. I know you're a Magic fan. It's different. I'm not even a Heat fan, but the role he's played in like basketball history, and it's mostly like a Miami thing, but people comparing him to Kobe Bryant and
Jesus, mother of God.
It's not that crazy if you look at the stats. Honest, it's not that crazy. If LeBron never would have went there, if you look at the trajectory of his career, the stats that he was having.
On pace, right? On pace?
Not even on pace. I mean,
trajectory of career is the same thing as on pace.
Yeah,
it's like saying upside and potential. Same thing.
Okay, so James Harden right now, if no Giannis came to play for him, it would lower his stats. Or if any other great player came to play for him, if he keeps doing what he's doing.
Yes.
Okay, but it's on a pace. Like everyone gets better mostly every year. The time that LeBron got there, he was like 28 or 29. Like, I'm not saying that he's better than Kobe Bryant. All I'm saying is it's not crazy to compare the two.
So then DeMarcus Cousins was going to be the all-time point scorer when he was on the shitty-ass Kings He would have passed fucking everybody else. He came up young, one and done. He would have passed Kareem and all these other guys.
I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is I'm just trying to give love to Dwayne Wade at his retirement night. I'm just saying that.
No, that you are. But the Kobe Bryant comparison is asinine.
So who would you compare him to as far as like shooting guards?
First of all, he's not a very good shooter, but I'll say Dwayne Wade, shooting guard.
Yeah, but shooting guard when he was in his prime is a lot different than shooting guard now. I mean, I know you're.
Well, because there's no positions now. No, he had a bunch of good shooting guards around. Kobe Bryant is a shooting guard. Kobe Bryant can shoot.
That's why I'm comparing him to Kobe. I mean, what shooting guard would you compare him to as far as like in your list?
Dwayne Wade.
Who is he under?
I guess
a
little bit like and I know this was a big topic earlier this week, but I would say he's very much like, but worse than Paul Pierce. I like Paul Pierce. I would take Paul Pierce over Dwayne Wade, and that's not. And when
you would take
that,
Paul Pierce over Dwayne Wade?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
No.
And I'm not saying that like it's like, Dwayne Wade sucks. Whenever people get into that, it's
Dwayne
like
Wade's closer to Kobe than he is to Paul Pierce.
Anyways,
it's just. I mean, he's one of the best defensive shooting guards of all time.
Okay, Kobe was all NBA.
All right. He also had Shaq playing with him.
You're right. So he's not very good, I guess. Yeah. Kobe's what? Yeah.
No, it's not the same. It's not the same.
Damn it! Why did I say that?
Yeah, I was hoping you wouldn't say that, but it's not.
So did Dwayne Wade from our producer.
It's not the same Shaq as Kobe had. This whole thing turned into like a different.
Kobe Bryant's top 3 player of all time.
No, that's not true. Kobe Bryant is a top 3 player of all time.
They took a poll, but
so
all NBA players.
So it has to be right.
I'm saying this isn't right, but I'm just like, they took a poll of all current NBA players, and said who is the best player of all time. Now, granted, a lot of these guys are young kids or anything like that,
yeah.
But I'm just saying you got Michael Jordan number 1, then I think LeBron was 2 and Kobe was 3.
So nobody's ever heard. You're talking about an age group that is younger than both of us.
Okay, so let's
You're
say
talking about
wrong.
guys who don't even know who like.
Dwayne Wade's not top 10 players of all time.
All right.
Kobe Bryant is. Dwayne Wade might not be top 20.
I don't know.
Players of
I
all
don't think
time.
Kobe's top 10 of all time. Of all time?
Oh my God.
You're talking about every player who's ever played basketball.
100%.
Absolutely.
100%. Where's Danny? I gotta get.
I would need more time to write this down.
Stretch. What was the time? Were we at 11:55? Is that what it was? Because Danny will come on here and spit fire. What time are we at?
We're 12 minutes.
12 minutes. I'll tell him to go back to like 10:45.
Do you think Kobe Bryant's better than Kevin Durant?
That's a close one, but yeah.
Is he a Lakers fan? Is he one of the Lakers fans that hates that LeBron's on the team now?
No, he's
like
a
an
Kobe
idiot?
fan.
Okay, that's even worse. Kobe fans are just not willing to accept any other reality other than Kobe Bryant's the best player of all time.
I mean, I wouldn't consider myself necessarily a Kobe fan, but I mean, whatever.
You're also talking about an era of basketball when they didn't care about efficiency whatsoever.
Now it's the era's fault, so it's not the player's fault.
No, if he played today, it's a volume shooter. Like, I mean, so, oh my gosh. I'm gonna. If I had more time, I can write it down. He's not top 10.
Kobe Bryant, not top 10. Who is your top 10? I know you don't have a list.
I need more time to write it down.
I'll give you 30 minutes. I can talk about anything for 30 minutes. Give me 30 minutes. I'll talk about the Masters.
That's why I asked you about Kevin Durant, because if Kevin Durant is better than Kobe Bryant, that's 2 that are in the league now that are better than Kobe, and we're talking about all time.
No, he's not. Kobe is better than everybody but LeBron.
What is Kobe better at than that Kevin Durant is? What is he better at than Durant?
Look, they're both unbelievable shooters. Kobe's a better defender for sure. Kobe's a better rebounder, honestly, than he is.
Kevin Durant could have won Defensive Player of the Year a year or 2 ago.
Could have, but didn't. So Kobe is a better defender, probably a better rebounder. Kobe's a better passer.
A better rebounder?
Yes, he is. He just is.
Dwayne Wade is a better rebounder than Kobe Bryant.
I might give that to you.
It's just statistically true.
Oh yeah, what are the statistics?
I'll look it up.
Oh, okay, so we don't know. Okay, well, anyways, but yeah, I
He's a better. He blocks more shots and he's a better defender.
Look, there's a huge argument that Kobe might be better than Jordan. So if that is an actual,
it's an argument perpetuated by people who like Kobe Bryant.
Okay,
not by people who are neutral and like basketball in general.
I don't know about that. I think it's a solid argument.
I mean, I'm not saying people will barely give LeBron that he's even in the same conversation as Jordan, and LeBron is better to me than Kobe. I wouldn't say by far. That's when you get into sports argument talk when it's like he's by far better. It's at least close, but LeBron is better than Kobe, and Kobe, how are you going to give him the argument against Jordan? Like, no.
Magic Johnson's better than Dwayne Wade.
Okay, that's like a hard bar to clear. That's Magic Johnson. I'd also say
Michael Jordan's better than Dwayne Wade. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is better than
all
Dwayne
those
Wade.
players are also
LeBron.
better than Kobe Bryant. So you're making my top 10
not.
for me. Magic
They're
Johnson.
they're all right there.
Magic's not better than Kobe Bryant.
It's close. It's fucking close.
Okay, but you already all the players you just named are also better than Kobe Bryant.
I got 5 right now. Let me go with. I'll go Shaq. I'll go. Man, you know I'm tempted to put fucking Grant Hill over here because honestly, Grant Hill. And if we're gonna go trajectory, Grant Hill was projected to be the projected
that's
to be.
That's a new word. Trajected.
Yeah, what's in this?
He's trajected.
Trajectory, and then he was projected to be the actual next Jordan, not the Jordan stats, but he was. What I would say that stat. He's the only one of 6 people in NBA history in the first 6 seasons to average 28, 7, and 5 or something like that. I have it on my phone.
Kind of like Dwayne Wade in the 2011 finals.
Oh wow! So 1 final or 6 years, fine, whatever. Either way. But yeah, I mean we can. I mean, God, overall players. I mean, we're talking. I mean, some people could even. Well, maybe not that. But I was just gonna say. I mean, if you talk to some. Never mind. I'm not gonna go too deep in this. But please let us know who is better than Wade, and we'll have that just like it's an ongoing guide today. While he takes a very long time to figure out what he's getting into, I'll go. NBA playoffs here. So if as of right now the Magic are 7 seed, I really want them to stay there. I think that they stand the best chance to beat Toronto. I really don't want to play Philadelphia because I think not Okafor, but I think David. Now I'm going to pick this name.
Jalil Okafor was going to have a real tough matchup for Vucevic.
I called Embiid. I can't remember Embiid Okafor earlier, so I apologize. But I think Embiid would give Vooch a very, very tough time, and I also don't want the 8 seed because I don't want to pull against my boy Antetokounmpo. So I think we stand the best chance against Toronto. I've never been a big Kawhi guy, so maybe that's just like my grudge against him or whatever.
What do you have against Kawhi?
Hang on. Hold mouse over. I don't know. Screen /
Yeah. So
never mind. I'll just say. Danny, he said that Dwayne Wade was better than Kobe, and then he said that Kobe Bryant was a top 10.
I didn't say he was like flatly better than Kobe.
Oh, Oscar Robertson's better than Dwayne Wade. Walt Frazier probably. Jerry West. Yeah, Jerry West for sure.
We're not.
Good job.
I didn't say he was flatly better than Kobe Bryant. All I said that it's not crazy to say that they're at least comparable. And you freaked out and said we can
rewind the tape. I think he did say that Wade was better.
I said it wasn't.
He was better.
I did not say he was. I'll stick with it. Fine, fuck it.
Stuart said it's not worth typing.
And for the record, Kobe Bryant has over 2,000 more rebounds than Wade.
Ooh, yeah, but how many more seasons? How many more seasons?
A better rebounder.
But how many more seasons has he played? You got to look at.
Oh, that's true.
You got to look at. You got to look at his projections.
You need seasons for 2,000 more rebounds.
Can you look at their career average? My dad says Dr. J. I don't know. That's going to be a close one there. I might give Dwayne Wade the nod, but I also didn't watch Dr. J play, so. I'm sure Danny is writing a fucking 4-paragraph long comment on here. But anyways, okay, so while we're waiting for all of this, like I said, I really hope that the Magic get the 7 seed is what I'm hoping, even though the 6 seed obviously would be, whatever better on paper. That's where I want them at. I still take the Bucks or the Sixers. I might take the Sixers out of the East just to be different. I hate a lot of the Sixers players, but I love JJ Redick because whatever, big Magic fan. All right, here we go.
Dwayne
The stats
Wade,
are in.
Career
so
rebounds.
Dwayne Wade career rebound average or like rebounds per game.
Per game.
Rebounds per game is.
It is Almost 8 per game.
Almost 8 per game, which is very good. That's really good for a shooting guard.
Wait, no, my bad. I'm reading the wrong side.
Ah, Jesus.
4.7.
I was going to say, that's insane.
What's the average?
It's 4.7?
4.7 per game.
I'd say that's average for a shooting guard, and I'm not talking shit, honestly. 4.7. That's probably more than T-Mac. Kobe Bryant average per game, 8 rebounds.
5.2 rebounds per
5.2.
He's
over
a half a rebound better.
Over half a rebound better.
That's a half a rebound anyways.
And then how many seasons did they play? Because I believe
that's a jump ball.
Wade came out as a junior, and obviously Kobe came straight out of high school. Kobe played what, 19 seasons?
This is not the tribute that Dwayne Wade deserves.
Oh, I love it.
Dwayne Wade is 15 seasons.
Dwayne Wade has 15 seasons.
All right, Kobe 2 Finals MVPs. Wade would have had 2 if LeBron would have done anything in the.
Yeah.
If he would have done anything in the Mavericks
season
series.
MVPs, Kobe 1, Dwayne Wade 0. How many all defensive teams?
And
Kobe 9, Dwayne
Kobe.
Wade 0. Defender. Are you kidding me? All defensive first team NBA 9 times, Dwayne Wade 0. Kobe is better than Dwayne Wade.
Well, he made defensive team. It wasn't the first team. I never said that Dwayne Wade was better. I just said it's not crazy to compare the two.
It is.
So it's not comparable to Paul Pierce. All right.
Paul Pierce was awesome. Paul Pierce probably averaged more points per game and more rebounds per game than him, maybe more assists. I don't even know. Antoine Walker was really good back then. I don't think Vitaly Potapinka was getting a lot of those those passes back down low. I love it, man. You gotta,
Look at, if these numbers are like insane, you can't see my computer. These numbers are comparable. Like it's not like crazy.
Bryant averaged only 3 more points per game, half a rebound more per game. Assists, you got to give the nod to Dwayne Wade. Over half an assist more. Steals are basically
blocks.
tied. Dwayne is 0.1 more. And I don't give a shit about blocks, but
why? Why would you not care about blocks?
As shooting guards.
I mean, it's still something.
Okay, sorry, 0.8 to 0.5. There, that's the hammer right there.
So it's almost the difference in rebounds that you were talking about in a half a rebound. That's a jump ball.
Paul Pierce was more clutch, thank you, and a better on-ball defender than Dwayne was.
Fuck Paul
Dwayne
Pierce.
Wade. But I thought Danny was going to come with that fire, unless I missed it all. I may have. Oh, my thing fucking sucks. I can't. Oh, I have to click onto it. That's what I got to do. Sorry, everybody.
Oh, he said he doesn't know how to go back 10 minutes.
Oh, I know, and then I told him on my thing. Oh, he's a fool. Is Dwayne Wade really getting compared to Kobe Bryant is what he said?
Oh, my God.
Yes. Well, we'll go with that a little bit later. But anyways.
So you were saying that you want the Magic to play to play Toronto.
Toronto, yeah.
Toronto.
Oh, Danny said, I found it. All right, here's your last 60 seconds or 2 minutes, however long it takes him to type. I can't even talk. But yeah, I think that that's where I personally, as a Magic fan, would put him. I'm actually anxious to hear my buddy Shane's put on here. I should tag him later. But anyways, out of the East, I mean, yeah, you have to go. I would say either Milwaukee or that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Appreciate that.
Either Milwaukee or Philly, I would say. But and then out of the West, your boy said, is it Warriors or Field?
Field.
Man, that's close, and that's a great question.
There are teams that can beat the Warriors in the East now. So before it was like if the Warriors just made it out of the West, they would be like a big favorite to win. Now I think there's at least 2 or 3 teams that could beat them in the East.
This is a great stat I've been wanting to say today. So obviously, traditionally, well, within our lifetimes, the West has been infinitely better than the East. And none more so than this stat right here. So obviously, the Magic won their division, and they're 1 game above 500 with a game to go. So we could potentially be 500. Now, I like that the NBA fixed this thing. So just because you won your division does not give you the 3 seed, which is what we would have. So I'm okay having the 7 or 6 or 8 seed, whatever, winning the division. That I think that's me not being a hypocrite. But the next worst team that won their division, we have a 506 winning percentage. The next worst team is the Houston Rockets, who are 53-28. Also, the 8th seed for the West is 47-34, 13 games above 500, which is awesome. The next closest team between 8th seed and the team that's out of the playoffs, the Kings, who are actually 39-42, so not very good at all. So the West as a whole is obviously the playoff teams are infinitely better than our teams, but I would say as a whole, I think it's not as good. Maybe more top heavy, I guess is the right phrase. But in previous years, the 9, 10, and 11 seeds were right there. Correct me if I'm wrong, Strats, because I'm not.
But it's also because they're playing Western Conference teams.
No. Okay, so you play 30 you play every team that's in the other bracket, or in the East Coast, home and away, so that's 30 out of your 82. So you're playing 52, and then 16 of your games are going to be against just your divisional opponents. So let's say your division isn't very tough, i.e., like the Warriors and the Clippers, who have not a very good bracket at all. That's 16. So now that's 46 of your 82 games. That's over half a season against a worst conference, which is the East Coast, and you have
look at the Magic's
inferior division. Pacific.
The Magic's division is
the worst in NBA. I know, but I'm not talking about the East. I'm talking about how the West is compared to them. Anyways. So yeah, well, I mean, obviously, if the Magic won the division and we're 41-40, I'm never going to tell you that we're a very good division. That's
nobody really talks. Divisions are stupid in basketball, and honestly, almost conferences are almost stupid. The way that they were created when travel was not as easy as it is now. So if you're saying like, oh, this team has to play this team, and we already got into this with who's closer to. This is a clip of the week a while ago. That was who's closer, the Spurs to the Warriors, or the Spurs to the Pelicans, or to the Heat, or whatever the fuck it was. But I'm just saying, if you just watch basketball, you know that the lower end of the West is better than the lower end of the East. If you look at plus minus, the Pistons are probably going to make the playoffs as the 8th seed, and their plus minus is like minus 0.8. There's no negative teams in the Western Conference.
In what?
Plus minus. I already looked it up earlier. And then for most of the season, most of the plus minus, there was like 6 teams in the East that had
There's 6 teams in the West that are minus?
All the playoff teams in the West are their plus minus. You're looking at conference.
I know. We already said. Well, this is every team though. This isn't just whatever. But those are gonna be the same stats if I hit.
No, if you hit conference, all the teams are positive. If you look at the bottom of the East, they're all like very
but you
close.
said there were 6. There's fucking what?
No,
1,
I'm
2,
saying
3, 4,
all the playoff.
Okay, yeah, no one argue that. I said that the West is better than the East, that without a doubt. But I'm just saying the West is more top heavy than years past. The West is better than the East. I never said that. What the Magic in the playoffs are a game above 500. How the hell is the East better than the West?
Well, who's the 6th seed in the East right
now? It could be us. As of right now, it would be the Nets. Well, but I mean, they have the same record as us.
In a series against Oklahoma City, how many games do you think you would win? Because they're
0.
They're the 6th seed right now.
Who is arguing that the East is better than the West?
Oh, you're just saying that the West is more top heavy, I guess.
Yes, correct. Because these teams are fucking superstars. And like I said 2 minutes ago, in previous years, the 9, 10, and 11 seeds were like 7 games above 500, like the Jazz and all those teams back in the day that just missed the playoffs. Whereas traditionally, within our lifetime, the 6, 7, and 8 seeds in the East are always under 500. So
I still think the West is way better. I think as a Pistons fan, if we made the 8th seed, I think the 8th seed in the West would sweep us almost. Maybe 3-1 or 4-1.
Well, you might not make the playoffs, so I would say that the 8th seed in the East
or
the West.
We're playing the Knicks tomorrow, and we're playing the Grizzlies tonight. We're gonna make the playoffs.
Never know, man. Never know.
No, he's like, yeah, I'm happy. Beat us. You guys already locked up the number 1 pick, but it being the Knicks, they might not get the number 1 pick anyways.
Must lose games.
Yeah, must lose.
Must lose.
That would be crazy though if they did wind up getting Durant and Zion, and then somebody else. Then they might make like the 8th seed. You know, I was thinking about this the other day, or actually it was today. I don't know why I said the other day. I guess that's just the saying. So LeBron, and obviously they're at different points in their career. So LeBron goes from Cleveland, and then he switches conferences, which is obviously the West we just established was harder. And then you look at what happened to him going to a team that, in his mind, he thinks they're going to be a playoff team just because he's on it. It's that whole theory when A-Rod left Seattle and went to Texas. He doesn't think he's going to a shitty team for a big contract just for the money. He thinks if he goes there, he's going to make them a playoff team. So LeBron thinks he's going there not only to do his whole Hollywood career, and he thinks him by himself is going to make it to the playoffs with them. So Kevin Durant leaving, theoretically, people think he might leave the Warriors, and the only place that's been reported is the Knicks.
Yes.
if he goes to the Knicks and they have what they have there now, I mean, how are they going to go from the 16 seed to the 8 seed? Even?
Well, you got to bring in players.
Breaking news, guys. The Pistons are losing to the Grizzlies by 19 right now.
Who's losing to the Grizzlies by 19?
The Detroit Pistons.
Pistons are losing by 19.
So is that? So if I'm giving up 11.5, is that bad? What's that,
I mean,
what's
you
that
were just saying that you're a lock for the playoffs.
You're giving up a
so
playoff spot is what you're
locking
giving up.
it up.
Wait, is that true?
I'll
Yes.
look it up right now.
So
yeah.
you said 19, so that minus 11.5, I'm down 30 right now?
The score is 41-22 in the second quarter.
Oh, shit. Shouldn't have parlayed that. He's laughing at that. He looked it up just to make sure it was true.
They scored 20 in the first period. 4 minutes into the second, they have 2.
No!
The Magic had 81 at halftime a couple nights ago. Jesus.
Oh, man. This is not good.
Oh, man. Oh, Stuart has a good comment. KD is way too big of a weak-ass baby to handle playing in New York. And someone else commented, which is great, but I have to scroll back up. Duke can't handle NBA refs. How is he going to handle Spike? Oh, man. Yeah. Whoa, Memphis. Loving it at all. Stretch have any faith? Yeah. No one's path in the West is easy, but. Anyways, all right. So can we? I mean, if you guys want to comment more on that, unless you want to keep chiming on, I want to get to.
You said something about New York. I think you were going more towards the Masters. I didn't want to say too much about it
Go ahead.
because baseball just started. But
Go ahead.
to a professional transition, Jacob DeGrom.
Fuck that bitch.
Yeah, I mean, but still, come on. You couldn't have had a much better start than that. I mean, after what
It's unreal. I'm not denying the talent.
after what he did last
fucking
year.
Loser.
Why is he a loser? He's a winner.
I have
He's 1-2. He's 2-0.
I have a friend who works in MLB. He's the head. I don't know what you want to call it. Head of away teams.
Oh, this is the
schedules
guy
or
that we
whatever.
always talk about.
Yeah.
He
So
can't be-
I don't. Yeah. But anyway, so like he set up. You know, he's in charge of setting everything up for the away team, the hotel rooms, getting their food, all this stuff. And he set up like a very nice buffet for them or whatever the fuck they wanted. You know, there's a whole bunch of shit after the game.
I don't know
There's
where
like
this is going.
it's like 50 chicken sandwiches. There's like 50 fucking burgers. There's 50 whatever you want, chicken fingers, whatever you want. There's just a lot of food. It's what happens after a baseball game.
I can't wait to see where this is going.
So my friend, we'll call him Stan. Stan walks by, grabs a chicken sandwich and keeps walking, and DeGrom stops him and says, "Yo, whoa, what are you doing?" He's like, grab a chicken sandwich. He's like, "Bro, listen for the players." He's like, "Well, there's 50 and there's 25 of you. So unless everybody here planned on having 2 and just that, I'm sorry about that." He's like, "Bro, I'm just saying, like, you can't be coming in here doing all this shit." He's like, "I fucking got all this shit for you. What are you doing? Like, shut the fuck up, you fucking long-haired bitch," which he's not anymore. So he fucking reamed him out, fucking gave him a whole bunch of shit for taking a chicken sandwich when there's just piles of it. Not to mention that was not one table of chicken sandwiches and then water. There was a whole bunch of other food. He fucking reamed this guy out. He's the one who takes care of you. If you call him at 2 in the morning and say, "Hey, I want a pixie stick," the little fucking sugar things, he'll go out and find it.
Did you play sports in high school? You did, right?
Yeah.
When did you play football or
No.
baseball?
I played basketball. I played outdoor track, indoor track, cross country.
So when they do the team meals before the game, I don't know how it
I'm
works.
in high school. We didn't have any. I did not have a very prestigious high school, so we didn't
So-
have a big spread.
So for me in football, when I played football in high school, they did team meals before each game.
Okay,
And
very
it,
nice.
It would go by. I mean,
have
it
some
was
money.
it was catered. No, it was catered by like somebody's family member or something.
Well, they
But
had
when
money.
they called, I mean, it's chicken sandwiches. But when they call the people up, they don't say, "Oh, everybody come and eat." They would call out, okay, starting offense, starting defense,
Okay.
starting special teams.
Great, and that's all there is to eat, right?
Well, I mean,
That's
yeah.
all there is to eat.
I'm just-
My boy
I'm just
provided
saying-
1,000 other things for him to eat.
That doesn't make him an asshole because there's a rule that it's chicken sandwiches for the players. Like, how does that? It doesn't. How does that make him an asshole?
It makes you come an asshole because there's 1,000 other things to eat. This guy who set everything up fucking wants one chicken. If the people, okay, if the
Should've
person
ordered 51.
who had a bit, it's the same person who did all that shit for you guys, which again must have been very nice. Let's say that they put 1,000. Let's say they put let's say they put 300 fucking.
No, this is from Brett's
I'm
brother.
just saying.
No one is allowed to have a bad day or get upset at someone ever, no matter the situation. Book of Brett, chapter 4, verse 26.
He knows it well. He's read up on it.
This book needs to be written.
Why? Okay, it's one thing if you're like shunning fans for autographs or something like that. Whatever. I get that. You've had a bad day. That's fine. Why are you fucking reaming on this fucking guy? Like if those people gave you all, if they had, I don't know how many, on a high school team, let's say 40. So let's say they gave 40 chicken sandwiches, 40 hamburgers, 40 cheeseburgers, and a whole bunch of chicken tenders. If they came by and got 3 chicken tenders, would you walk up and be like, hey, look, thank you very much for all this, but can you like not have any of that? You would look like the biggest cunt on the planet. So I would tell you to fuck off. I'd tell you to eat your own dick. And then just fucking be going. Why are you so? That just says, how are you defending him in this? There's 1,000 other things. He wants one chicken sandwich walk by that he brought over, and he's at fault. That's absurd.
It's just crazy to hate somebody. That's not the only reason you hate him, but just because of one story about a chicken sandwich.
He has more. I'm just saying that's one story. Do you want me to tell all fucking what I think?
They're all bad. I mean,
yeah. And to not be a hypocrite, this same guy has nothing but nice things to say about Bryce Harper. I still hate Bryce Harper. So
I feel like you hate everybody.
No. Can go. It's funnier if I go off on people who I hate. I'll talk about Grant Hill for fucking 3 hours. I love that motherfucker. I love Pedro Strop for the Cubs. I mean, go all sorts. Also, I love Matt Kenseth in NASCAR. I can talk about Matt Kenseth for a while.
Said Brett dislikes DeGrom because DeGrom was super hungry and defensive of his own team's appetite.
Yeah. I'm sure right after that it was a fucking. I can't even think of the right, like, all for one and none for all, just like a fucking eating frenzy. Every man for himself is what I'm trying to think of. They cleared off they flipped every other table. No food for anybody. Wings are off the table.
We need to know the date.
There's no more kale salad or anything like that.
Did they lose that day?
Chicken sandwiches.
Did one of the closers blow that game that day because he didn't have his second chicken sandwich?
He's still a piece of shit.
We need to know.
Yell at your closer. Don't yell at my boy who's trying to fucking feed himself for a shit that he got. If he had just walked into the room and he was just like someone's kid, that might be one thing. But this guy brought all of this stuff in. He got all their shit there. Doesn't make any fucking sense.
We talked about this already, but you're already mad. He said, "Why do you hate?"
I saw it.
Why do you hate him?
Trying to do? Well, if he's purposely trying to do that, then we don't.
I don't think he was listening to the other one. I tried to give him. I tried to give him a summary of it that you just don't like the way he acts and his antics.
I'm gonna get into a whole other thing.
No,
very quickly, I'll say I don't like Odell because, in my opinion, his outbursts are selfish on the sideline, whereas people like Des Bryant, if you mic them up, all he's screaming about is we're the best team in the league. He's not screaming I need the ball or anything like that. And he has done that a couple times, but not every one of his outbursts, I think, is what people would say. Well, you're a big Des Bryant fan, doesn't he do? I'm like, when the mics are on, it's all that him and Antonio Brown's the same way. It's just about them. So that's how I think.
I didn't even have so much stuff is going on this week. I didn't have the Antonio Brown thing written down because when I saw that update on my phone, I didn't even need to look at what it was. You saw what it was, right?
Sorry, I'm looking at Stupid Stewart's thing.
The whole stupid thing. He posts a comment that Juju he said something about the stupid team.
Oh, it was weird. I encrypted. I couldn't tell.
He said the whole stupid thing about the team MVP, and Juju said something. And it's like nobody even knew team MVP awards existed until Antonio Brown made a big deal about it. And then he screenshots a message that Juju Smith-Schuster sent him when he was in college, like, hey, any tips from the best receiver in football? How do I get better? And he tries to make that out like he's like making fun of Juju. I'm like, that's what anybody who wants to get better would do. So he's just making himself look bad. So I don't even want to talk about that other than mentioning it because I saw it pop up on my updates, and I was like, I already know what it is. It's stupid. It's just Antonio Brown being an idiot. What I would be curious about, what if you go through this whole year and Odell is productive and he has none of that stuff that happened in New York? Would you give him any credit that it's just because of how New York was?
Raw talent, he's awesome.
I'm saying, would you change your opinion of him if this year he goes through, he's productive, he doesn't have any of that look at me, selfish kind of thing?
I'll say he's on the up and up. But then I'll also sound like a hypocrite because then it's like, well, he's doing good for my team, I like him.
No, but
I never want to be.
You don't care. You're not criticizing his production. You're criticizing how he acts. So if he goes through this whole year and it seems like the situation's better for him, you're willing to change your opinion. It's just because of the way that he acted. It's not because you hate him like as his production or this and that. It's just you don't like how he acted in New York. If he has,
or if he had done that in any other, if he had been a different team for 10 different years and did the same thing for 10 different teams, I would have said the same thing.
But I'm saying if this year goes smooth, he has no complaints, nothing happens
which
like
will
that.
not happen. But yes, if I'll play your game. If that happens, then I'll be like, hey, look, I got to give him credit. He's looking a lot more mature. Probably because hopefully they would have legalized weed and he'll just be puffing the shit out of that shit on the sidelines.
But I'm saying you're willing to change your opinion. What's these?
Well, your boy said, what elite wide receiver doesn't cause drama, and we just fucking destroyed him. Just absolutely buried him. Named like half the league.
Yeah, there's a couple that don't. I mean,
a couple. All right. Well, if you want to keep scrolling up, your finger might get tired.
Larry
there's a bunch. Larry Fitzgerald. I mentioned him.
Who don't? Oh, I thought you were okay. Yeah.
Don't. Yeah.
No, there's plenty who don't.
Yeah. My first one was AJ Green. I said Larry Fitzgerald. I said Jordy Nelson at one time. Julio Jones, for some reason.
Jordy Nelson is not on that.
At one time, he didn't cross a lot of drafts. He was the number one in Green Bay for one time. That, like I said, at one time. He also didn't do it after. Well, whatever. I said at one time. Julio Jones. My dad said Jerry Rice, but I'm sure he didn't mean back then. Mike Evans, I don't definitely agree with, but DeAndre Hopkins for sure.
A lot don't. That's the point. A lot don't have to cross.
So,
Calvin Johnson never said anything. So I think we want to talk about the Masters a little bit. There's some stuff you want to say about
that? I would love to.
Yeah. Go ahead. I'll let you start. I love the Masters. I love watching it. I watch a decent amount of golf. I just played golf recently, broke 100.
Hey, that's a big deal, man.
It was Wedgefield. That's
a huge deal.
Not Wedgefield. It was Winter Park Pines. So
okay. All right. Yeah.
If anyone knows Winter Park Pines, the par is like 62.
Yeah. But whatever. Hey, that's awesome. Whatever helps get your. Well, Shannon Sharp is a tight end, Stuart. But sorry. Yeah, Shannon Sharp was a tight end. Sterling Sharp was the number one wide receiver. But Andre was also kind of number one. He had James Lofton. Anyways.
My Masters thing is mostly about, I love watching it. I love playing golf. I love betting on golf.
Danny says, speaking of golf, I think Brett has a golf story from this weekend. So Saturday, I hit a shot on a par 3, and I didn't have to hit another shot.
Hole in one?
Got a hole in one.
No!
Yeah.
Wow.
It was pretty awesome. My boy Daniel Shannon has not video of the shot, but he has video of us running up and acting like madmen and chugging some alcohol for the rest of the round. It was a great moment. I loved it. I had a great time.
If you have a shot of the hole in one, it's kind of suspicious because it's like, do you just videotape everyone teeing off on
right?
every hole?
Yeah, you waste a shit ton of battery, especially with me because I'm not very good.
Yeah, there's a lot of wasted. You see, this is a shank.
Yeah, and I will say this: it wasn't some bullshit where I like sculled it and it like ran up and smashed into the pin. It actually had, yeah. Oh, okay, thank you, Danny. I also got a 10 on the hole before, so. I'm not a very good golfer, but I had a great trajectory. It looked really good. Fucking fell down, spun right in, so I was good. Anyways, the Masters, a tradition unlike any other. It's fantastic. It's top 3 times of the year for me. Opening day baseball, and then I don't know what 2 or 3 is, but one was the Masters. And it's awesome. It starts Thursday. It's gonna be a great time. It's gonna be real tough. So Rory is kind of the big name to mention. This is he's played the Masters 10 times. He's come in the top 5 times. He's missed the cut once. But this is the last one he needs for his career Grand Slam. And he definitely a great comment I actually thought of, I saw on Rory was that I think we mentioned this before about players, or especially very good players who played the game, weren't fans growing up. Like, I was a big Carson Palmer fan, and I've read interviews of him post, or whatever interviews, let's just get it right. I watched A Football Life on him. And he was like, yeah, I didn't even know who the Bengals, he knew who the Bengals were, but I didn't know what the AFC North was when I got drafted. I'm like, how the fuck do you not understand football? Saquon Barkley, same way. He met Jim Brown, and he's like, yeah, I know he was like a good running back in the day, I guess. He's like, I don't really watch a lot of football. I'm like, what the fuck are you? So anyways, to that point, what I love McElroy about is that they asked him about that and about him, not winning the Masters with the career Grand Slam. And most golfers, I think, would give you a very off-the-cuff kind of traditional answer, and it's like, oh, it doesn't mean anything to me. I just want a good career. It'd be nice to win it, blah, blah, blah. Rory was awesome with it. He's so honest. He's like, honestly, I think I wouldn't care so much if I wasn't a fan of the game. Like, I understand the people who have done that before me. I really want to join that list. This does mean a lot to me. I want to win the Masters for that Grand Slam. And I thought that's not a lot of people say. A lot of people say, like, you know, oh, I don't want this record because, you know, it's just kind of about winning in the end, but that's more about a team sport.
Yeah, I was going to say golf is more individual.
Right, I think maybe it's not as great of a quote, I guess you're right, but I thought it was awesome.
I think one of the cool things, too, is, and this is like a very small part of it, but when you accept the green jacket from the person who won the year before.
Correct.
It would almost be like if Virginia won last night and then they're getting, it wouldn't make as much sense, but it's like, you know, it's kind of like handing it off. It's like I did this last year, now you're doing this now. And
yeah, it's very cool.
Like,
Speaking of, I won my group's Masters pool last year, and in our group chat, they were like, so who's going to hand the jacket off to this year? Because I definitely we have a green jacket that I wore, you know, spoke to the crowd afterwards. My buddy said horrible speech, but whatever, it's fine.
Wait, so what is this Masters thing? I guess we can talk about it afterwards.
Yeah, well, whatever. Yeah, it's just a bunch of us get together. We pick you get 2 players in the top 10 in world golf rankings, and then you get 3 others, and then there's a lot of stuff about it. It's like, if your player doesn't, it's not like total score. It's like if your player doesn't make the cut, you get like plus like 19 or whatever. So you have to have all 5 guys to make the cut. Otherwise, I think it's money. I think is what it is.
Is it closed or can you get in there?
I'm not sure. I'll have to ask. But anyways,
McElroy is the favorite.
Daniel Shan says, I hope whoever wins the jacket this year kicks Patrick Reed in the dick. I could not agree more. And that's a perfect example of people say I could care less. So if I would say I could care more just there, well, that doesn't make sense. I couldn't care more because I really wanted it to happen. So anyways, there's my grammatical nonsense of the day, but it just makes sense. Don't sound like an idiot. Might as well call it Illinois and Arkansas's.
McElroy's the favorite. Dustin Johnson's second. Spieth is 20-1 on here.
Doesn't make any fucking sense. Spieth is 32nd in the world. He should be like 4,000 to 1. It sucks for fans of his to bet because golf, you know, they know that they're going to bet on Spieth, so they want to make those odds as low as possible. If I'm a bookkeeper, that makes a lot of sense. It sucks for the actual fans who want to bet on Spieth because we know that that's not the true spread for him. That's not the true odds. It's probably very not likely he's going to win. I'm still going to bet on him, but it's not likely that he's going to win. And I want those 4,000 odds. He's 32nd in the league. He can't. The past 2 years, he can't putt. He's got the shakes. He doesn't know. He forgot to hit the ball. He's not even missing in one direction. He's missing left and right. Can't really hit fairways very well. But it's mainly his putting. It's just driving me absolutely nuts.
Two of the guys I liked. I like to do different bets. I'll take like in bets like this. I don't really watch NASCAR, but I told you last week had Clint Boyer to win, and he fucking came in second. But I'll do bets like that, and I'll pick like a favorite, and then somebody who's like farther off. Two of the guys that I like that are further off. Tony Finau is 39-1. And
can hammer the ball.
He hasn't been playing great lately. I said Paul Casey earlier, and you said you want to punch him in the dick.
Because he cost me so much money. The only time he won me money last year was in the Masters.
But he's 26-1.
Finau had a decent shot at it last year, and I don't know if anybody remembers.
Foot, right?
Yeah, he popped dislocated his ankle. His foot came out of his ankle socket.
That's got to be like a drinking accident or something.
No,
right?
it's on video. There's tomorrow on Wednesdays they have a par 3 course challenge. There's the 18 holes, and there's a par 3 course. And he hit a hole in one, and he's running towards the hole, and he turns around, and he's running backwards doing this, and he steps down, and his ankle touches the ground, but his foot is sideways. It's pretty gross. And then he pops it back in, and then I think he finished the weekend last year under enormous pain. I mean, his foot was so swollen.
I think he was like top 5. Didn't he finish top 5?
I don't know. He finished top 5. I know
his
last year
round
was
like 600.
Patrick Reed came in first, Ricky Fowler came in second, and not Jordan Spieth came in third.
I had
to say it was. There's one of my guys who came in third. It might have been Spieth. I don't even fucking know. Either Spieth, Paul Casey, or somebody else that I had last year. I can't remember.
Tiger's 13-1. You have to mention. You just have to mention Tiger.
Sure.
I wouldn't recommend betting on him. You're never going to get like true odds if you're betting on Tiger Woods. Like, what do you think he's 13-1? What should his real odds be?
Well, he's 12th in the world right now, so I mean that might be correct odds. He's played the course a billion times. I'm just a hater on Tiger, so that's all I'm just gonna say about that. But that's perfect. My point. So Cornelius Kegerton, the 4th, that guy actually shoots in like the mid-70s in golf for real, and he's actually a huge Tiger fan. I'm glad he joined. We just got done talking about your boy. If you want to add your 2 cents on, we just talked about the Masters for like the past 5 minutes. Where the hell were you, man? But yeah, if you want to chime in on that, we'd love to hear you. But perfect timing to poop too.
Do you have any idea how they picked the group, the pairings? Because the guy who's with Cameron is with like Spieth and McElroy or something like that.
They do a lot of that stuff behind the scenes, kind of on their own. I think there's some method to the madness. I know a lot of times they'll put Sergio and John Rahm in the same grouping because they're both from Spain.
Yeah, and people will
They
watch
do a lot of
them.
Sunwoo Kim and fuck, I can't remember that guy's name, but because they're Korean or maybe like a Kevin Na or something like
Yeah.
that. I think he's Japanese. But anyway, yeah. So they try to put the guys like that together. They try to avoid Spieth and Reed. I know if they're showing the leaderboard, it's every channel is different. Some channels do it like if a bunch of guys are tied at 6, they put the biggest names up top. Sometimes they put it just their discretion, and sometimes it's based on FedEx points, whatever.
I was more curious about the
depends on the
first.
tournament.
I know how the later days go, but the first day they had some guy I never heard of named like something Cameron.
Yeah.
Anyways, I guess another thing we can talk about. You know more than me, obviously, on this topic, but the NHL playoffs are starting.
Man.
You had something going with the Maple Leafs that you were saying they're a pretty good bet if you want to do something that's over 10-1.
If you want to throw something out there that's kind of crazy, that's going to pay out fucking unbelievable, yeah, I would bet the Maple Leafs. They score a ton of goals. They also give up a decent amount. In previous years, they have kind of choked a little bit. But I mean, my boy Austin Matthews is my fucking boy. I love that guy. Who they open up with Boston. Boston's a good team. They also score a lot of goals. It just sucks that if they do come out of there, they're going to have to beat Tampa Bay, who I also bet on winning it all.
You
So
bet on them. You actually took the bet.
I took Tampa and Toronto in 2 separate bets to
What
win the
were
whole
they,
thing.
like plus 125? Or
Yeah, it wasn't a lot at all.
something? Warriors.
But,
They're like pretty much. If you don't watch hockey that much, they're similar to the Warriors right now. As
Kinda,
far
I
as,
mean, well, they're
as far
one
as
seed, yeah,
As far
they're-
as betting odds, yeah.
yeah, they're the best team. I mean, the Islanders would be okay. I wouldn't take Washington or Carolina.
A lot of people like
Pittsburgh's
Carolina
okay.
right now if you don't watch hockey that much because they have the fun celebrations at the end. They score a lot too.
Yeah, all right, yeah. I mean, I fucking hate Cam Ward. He cost me fucking a lot of joy in 2006.
The
Flames are good. The Blues are really good. Colorado's trash. They're gonna get crushed by Calgary.
the shine kind of wore off Vegas a little bit. They were the team that everyone. There's always. It seems like there's a team every year that people who don't watch hockey, that's who like they're rooting for. Like
Right.
2 years ago it was Nashville. Last year it was Vegas. This year I feel like a lot of people like
Kings.
Carolina.
Yeah, the Kings a couple of years before that. Bet the under in any Nashville-Dallas game. That's not going to be very high scoring at all. The Blues-Winnipeg series, that might be the best series to watch. Well, Boston-Toronto, but Winnipeg-St. Louis is going to be great to watch in case you guys don't watch. Well, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. I know a lot of people don't watch hockey, but if you have to watch 2 series, I would say Boston-Toronto or Winnipeg-St. Louis. If you want to watch the best team, watch Tampa Bay. But
I hate Tampa Bay though.
and Stewart, yeah, big Smashville, whatever. They're not going to score a lot of games or goals, and they'll probably win a lot of games. They'll probably sweep.
What kind of
Dallas.
odds would you give on this bet? Because it's a big thing in hockey every year. Will a Canadian team win finally? If you took
Yeah.
all the Canadian teams, I didn't see the you had it.
Calgary's number 1.
You had it pulled up. If
Calgary,
are any of them none of them are playing each other.
Winnipeg, no. Calgary, Winnipeg, Toronto, and that's it. So 3.
Yeah.
And what was it, like 2 years ago was the first time that not a Canadian team was in the entire playoffs? Since like for
There's more
4
like
years, 6
California
years,
teams
something?
that have won it since
That's nuts.
Canadian teams.
That's nuts. And they definitely have better fans across the border up there for sure. Anyways, quickly, we can get back to whatever people want to talk about on here. Please, if there's something you want to talk about, just comment on it. I promise we'll get to it unless we run out of time. But really quickly, I kind of wanted to touch on a little bit of baseball. So there was 2 brawls in the Reds-Pirates game this past week, both involving Chris Archer, who is Daniel Shannon's boy. He is a pitcher who very much wears his emotions on his sleeve. He's not a very big guy. He actually looks like he's 11 if you can Google him. But
I
anyways,
didn't know he was black until last week.
there you go. And he's a very good pitcher. Strikes out a lot. He throws a lot of pitches, so he's likely to throw like 100 after 5.
He got 5 games.
But yeah, you got 5 games, which is nothing for a pitcher. He's not even going to miss a start, maybe.
If not to interrupt.
That's okay.
I just
No, you're fine. You're good. Go ahead.
For a pitcher, instead of games, shouldn't it be starts? Couldn't they
It's
just
probably
make it like
2
2
starts.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, if like the only thing I'll give the MLB, you're 100% right. I agree with you. But the only thing that MLB is like they'll suspend a pitcher, 6 games. So that's 1 start. But also, if their team gets in trouble during that week, he is unavailable to start at all. Like a case like the Cubs yesterday. Our ace got hurt in the 2nd inning, but we had to put another starter in there to finish the game. But I totally agree with you. We got 3 games. Who means more to the team? He bats 4 times a game. He's a fucking maniac.
If people weren't watching, it was 2 brawls in the same game. What would you say? How would you describe it? Like, why did it happen? Who was in the right? Who was in the wrong?
That's a great question because it's a lot of like old school baseball mentality. So I can't remember his name, but the first Reds guy.
Puig is always involved.
Always. So Puig comes in at the end of this. So I'm so sorry, I'm going to forget the Red player's name. The first guy hits a fucking moonshot and he just kind of stares. It's like a weird name, like Nguyen Tyke or something. Anyways, he hits a moonshot, kind of admires it, which I'm not a huge fan of. If you're a veteran, do whatever you want to do. But this guy's not a veteran at all. So he hits this fucking moonshot, kind of stares at it. Chris Archer's been around for a very long time. He's a very established pitcher in the game, and Chris took offense to that. He didn't necessarily have to, but so the next time he came up, Chris threw behind him, so that started a whole bunch of shit. So then I think he actually hit Puig, which is fine. I can't stand Puig, but
because of all of his antics and all
he's just a fucking moron, and he brings it on himself. He's kind of like a Draymond Green kind of guy, like. Well, but I will say that Draymond blames everybody else a lot. Puig, I guess, would kind of own it. Puig don't give a shit, but...
David Bell.
What's his last name?
David Bell.
Is it Bell? I thought it was something crazy. Well, maybe not. Anyways, but I guess it was David Bell. But anyway, so yeah, that's what happened. That was kind of interesting. You got no one gives a shit about fantasy, but I have the Nationals closer, the Rockies closer, and I guess one of the substitute closers for the Cubs. All 3 of those teams are the only team this year that don't have a save.
Oh no, he got suspended too.
Well.
Derek
Dietrich, thank you.
Yeah.
Dietrich was who I was talking. I knew it was a weird 5-star with a D. Yeah.
A couple of the other stats I was looking at earlier, we were talking about, what was the word they used? Trajections or trajectories?
Projections. Yeah.
So right now, Cody Bellinger is on pace for like 70 home runs.
Give it to him. Probably more than that. He's probably on pace for fucking 4 goddamn hundred.
He's got 7.
Stupidest
He's got
thing ever.
7 right now.
7 through 10, and they play 106, so 60. Oh Jesus, it's a lot.
Any other takeaways? I mean, from baseball for the first, it's like 10 games in, so that's like less than whatever percent of the season. I'm not good at math, but I had one stat written down. Chris Davis, that's the CH, not the KH.
Right.
0 for 47.
should spell with a K.
So this is.
Yeah,
our producer, if you didn't hear that, said he should spell it with a K. So this is the whole, and I'm just asking it just to be funny, but the whole professional athlete and like could a college team beat a pro team? If you had 47 at bats, could you get a hit?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
No.
I was kind of.
That's a good one.
I was kind of hoping you'd say yes.
If I had 47 at bats against high school pitchers,
could you make
maybe
against high school pitchers? I think
maybe. I'm weak as shit, man. There's no way I could get like solid contact. It'd have to be like some bullshit bloop single or something.
If
like
you tried
that,
to
no
butt
way.
like 47 times, maybe you could outrun.
I'm not quick, so
That's
I could outstat them. I'll be able to tell them their average that day. But
he's like
no,
pitching
there's
at
no
you.
fucking
You're
way.
like, who won the Cy Young in '82?
Yeah, bitch. That was Raleigh Fingers.
There you go. We'll just go
I'll
with
have
that.
to look at that. 82. That's a good year. For Brett Saberhagen possibly with 1 T for the Royals. But yeah, so there you go. Let's see. What are we? Stretch. What are we at? 56. Okay, I don't know because sometimes mine fucks up. So
Is the guy you were talking about listening about the
maybe I'm not quite sure.
EPL? You want to talk about? Was it last week that we already talked about this? But the AAF is already folding. That's done with. I didn't watch any
Yeah,
games.
I mean it's
guess-
kind of expected. It sucks.
Orlando won the championship. I guess.
Yeah,
I guess
Orlando
if they were-
twice has now pulled the same shit where they're awarding themselves a fucking championship trophy.
Yeah.
When it didn't happen, but whatever. It was going to.
Says the World Series winner the previous year had a worse start than the Red Sox have had this year.
It's a very good stat. I would look into some of those Marlins teams because they tend to sell pretty early, like
The
the
entire-
2004
entire
and the
team.
1998, I guess, Marlins because they won the 2 years previous. And then I would look at, maybe some of those Diamondbacks, the 99 Diamondbacks team. I don't know how much longer they had Schilling and. Oh, it was 01? Damn it, man.
The Harper thing last week happened after we stopped the podcast, but Stretch and I were here watching a comedy show that they do every first Tuesday of the month at Public House. And Bryce Harper struck out a couple times. They were booing
I
him.
said 97 Stewart. Sorry, go ahead.
They were booing Harper, and then he winds up hitting a home run, and then he comes out and just does a 700 flip bat flip, which I know you're not really into that kind of thing. I kind of like it. I mean, but
Anyways,
yeah.
Anything else anybody want to talk about? I mean, if we want to go a couple more minutes, we can get back into this top 10 NBA players of all time if you want to.
I've been talking, otherwise I would have. Can we just pull up like a random list? Will you accept a random list?
Yeah, I'll accept a random list.
You think Kobe's going to be on it or not on it?
Random top 10 of all time?
He's absolutely going to be on it.
Yeah.
Maybe on another top 5.
Yeah, I kind of got crushed for that one earlier.
Kobe's third.
No,
that's
this is
professional
just
athletes.
pictures, man.
Okay.
Relax.
I was so excited.
It's just Google Images. It's not even a definitive list.
In case you weren't with us earlier, Marty said that Dwayne Wade was better than Kobe Bryant.
That's
and
not what.
went on
That's
a fucking
not exactly what happened.
Charles Barkley.
Look how
might be better than
skinny.
Dwayne
Look
Wade.
how skinny Charles Barkley is. My
Oh, we
God.
both clicked on the same thing. I'll let you go down that one. I'll go down another one. But
Yeah.
Charles Barkley might be better than Dwayne Wade.
Well,
Charles Barkley's 25th on this list.
God,
I'll let you go. I'll go back to our beloved fans. Oh, fucking Cornelius is drunk. Pete Vukovic. Damn it.
what did he say?
Pete Vukovic won in 82. Shit.
Are the Pistons still down 20?
Oh, Steve Carlton. Great Steve Carlton. Oh, damn it. For the Mets? The Phillies.
Oh,
Phillies.
this is-
Damn
this-
it. Who
this
am I
is-
messing him up with? Steve.
this
That's
is
Steve
a
Carlton and who's that great Mets guy? Steve Carlton. Oh God, my dad's gonna kill me.
This is a Fox Sports list. I already denounced this list.
Anyways, yeah. So there you go. Well, guys, if there's nothing else y'all want to talk about, we do. Stretch, you got anything? You want to add anything really quickly?
1, Michael Jordan. 2, LeBron James. 3.
What's the score on that Pistons? Oh, 57-38 at half. So they're only down by 19.
There we go.
It's all right.
All right, 1 is Jordan, 2 is LeBron, 3 is Kareem, 4 is Shaq, 5 is Duncan.
Tim Duncan.
Who won all those Finals
Shaq
MVPs
shouldn't be top
when
10?
Kobe was winning the championships?
Shaq should not be top 10, really.
Who won
Tom
all?
Seaver, thank you,
Who won all the
Stewart.
Finals MVPs? I forgot.
Finals MVP, whatever.
It means you get to the final game, and then who's the best out of the 2 best teams.
Oh, okay.
So
Gotcha.
Magic Johnson's at 6. I'm kind of liking this list so far. Bill Russell,
Yeah.
7.
I haven't seen Dwayne yet.
I haven't seen Kobe yet. If I do, I'm just going to pretend I don't. And
Right. Just keep it scrolling. Yeah. He was one. He was one.
Wilt Chamberlain, 8.
Marty's scrolling skills aren't where we need them to be.
If I scroll any faster, the
Oh, that's
computer-
weird. Larry Bird. Oh, was that on air last
No,
week?
that wasn't.
Oh my
Hakeem
God.
Olajuwon, 110.
We got into an enormous argument last week about who was it? Oh, Larry Bird and Steph Curry.
Yes.
And we all, Stretch and I, and
Oscar
our buddy
Robinson,
said
11.
that,
Kobe's 12.
12. All right, great.
I think Dwayne Wade was 11.
Yeah, we said that Larry Bird was better than Steph Curry, and he was giving us a lot of shit, and lo and behold, that's great.
Yeah, his lists are made by old people.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, who this year is going to be the
Oh,
biggest
Dwayne Wade's 17, so it's not that crazy. He's like 4 spots lower. And you made me seem like I was a moron.
I mean, stat-wise, yeah, but
It's not that crazy to say it's close. Look, it's
Dwayne
close.
Wade's 17th best of all time. I disagree with that.
I kind of do too. But
That's insane.
Absolutely.
I don't even want to scroll up because I'm going to lose my shit over all the people that are going to be. Is Chris Paul better than Dwayne Wade?
no,
No.
do it in the postseason.
That's right. So that means Dan Marino's the worst fucking quarterback of all time. Give it to Doug Williams, everybody.
All right.
Fucking Trent Dilfer.
right.
Robert Ory's the greatest NBA player
I've
that's ever lived
been ready
of
for
all
this
time.
argument my whole life. It doesn't matter. You're not comparing Robert Ory to LeBron James. You're comparing 2 like players who one has a championship and one doesn't. You're not saying Robert Ory is better than any of these guys.
That could come down to coaching. That could come down to supporting cast. That could come down to all sorts of shit.
Rings to me are the tiebreaker. It's not that it's not that Eli Manning is better than Aaron Rodgers. It's that if I think
So Bill Russell's the best player of all time then?
you're not even listening to what I'm saying. I'm saying if two players are similar, the rings can be the difference. So if you want to say Michael Jordan and LeBron James, if you want to say Michael Jordan has the rings, I'll give you the tiebreaker. That's fine. Kevin Garnett, 18. What kind of fucking list is this? I told you it was Fox Sports. That's what Carl Malone, the mailman.
That's absurd.
John Stockton, 20th. This is weird. It's like they just picked names out of a hat.
He doesn't have a ring.
Yeah. Dirk, 21.
Must suck.
Must suck. I'm just saying.
I understand what you're saying.
If Chris Paul is,
I'm trying to rack my brain of like two guys who were very similar.
I'm on Chris Paul on the same way that I think he's one of the best point guards. But at some point, you have to at least not even win a championship, just get to a final.
Charles Barkley and Draymond Green.
Charles Barkley.
Draymond Green is better. No, not by your standards.
They're not similar though.
Are you shitting me? They're like the same. They can both do a lot of the same shit. Charles Barkley's obviously better, but that's a decent comparison. They played. They're the same height, arguably the same build. They do a lot of the same things. They both shoot threes. They both rebound very well. They both defend very well. One's a cock. One's not. Like, you know.
Which one's not?
Charles. I love Charles Barkley.
It's just in case he's watching.
Right. I love Charles. He probably is.
KD's at 22. By the time he's done with this, KD's going to be ahead of LeBron. Reggie Miller. I'm sorry, not LeBron.
Reggie Miller's better than Dwayne Wade.
Not according.
Maybe not.
Not according to Fox Sports.
Probably not. Elgin Baylor's better than Dwayne Wade.
Elgin Baylor.
Dude, I thought Clyde Drexler.
Look at this. Look at this guy who Elgin Baylor's playing against. Look at this guy.
This guy probably won MVP. That's probably the backup center because the center fouled out. You racist. They could totally see that.
Yes, I can.
Look who this guy Elgin Baylor is playing against.
I mean, he also played against him 82 games a year, right?
I'm just saying, LeBron never played against anybody like that.
Oh my God!
Look at this.
LeBron playing against like Jalen Rose and all these motherfuckers. LeBron playing against fucking Evan Fournier this year. Does that make LeBron suck?
Charles Barkley. There you go.
Oh, that's him with Jordan. He must be the greatest player of all time. That's who was guarding him. So that's all you base this off of. So LeBron was guarded by Evan Fournier this year. So LeBron's terrible. Jesus, that's actually a decent picture. You can see that. Yeah.
He looks like me. He's like glow in the dark.
I'm not going to comment on any pigment at all, for sure.
Oh
Anyways,
my God.
Well, thank you guys for joining again. We really appreciate it. Let's the fuck out of here before I say something stupid.
Oh man.
Hopefully one of these days we're going to work on like some type of like keep the mics rolling type of deal where as we're like kind of packing everything up, we'll just get into the fucking nonsense, or maybe I'll just record it on my phone and throw it on the traffic truck page on the Analytically Correct. But as always, guys, seriously, thank you so much for tuning in, even if it's just for a minute or the entire episode. Really, like it helps us out so much, and we enjoy the banter. Hopefully, you guys do too. We like to think we try to take your opinions into account. So please, keep posting, you guys. I think we're the #1 rated at all your podcasts as far as the followers and the posting. You guys are definitely making us look good, even when we don't ourselves. Thanks again. Hope to see you guys next week. Same place, around the same time. You know us, we're either 7:30 in that range. But anyways, from Bredigans, from Marty, from Stretch, from Traveling Drunks, thanks for Wade County. And cheers to you, Dwayne Wade. Seriously, you've had a hell of a career. You won me a bunch of money when I was senior high school. You had a triple-double against Kentucky coming out of there. It was also an NCAA tournament. See you guys next week, all right? Cheers.
Wade.